because of how little mobility I have.
But he can get under a curved one.
I think Trey's
Bane, there's no way that you're going to get us to believe that you don't start your Prius and go to 60 right away. That's not what you do. You go 0 to 60 right away when you start. I know that.
That's the only fun thing about a Prius.
People have a Prius.
You fit in a Prius?
You're going to catch these hands. They're rated E for everybody.
I was like,
I'll tell you what, I'd love to see Robert Bane one day in a smart car. I want to see Robert Bane in a smart car.
I've been in one. It had a harness.
Stupid one?
Oh, you're gonna go do the shack?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. This show's
like the real smart cars. The really super small,
the stupid car. Got it. Okay, yeah.
The stupid car. I want to see even one of those someday. I don't know how people.
Yeah, like I said, I've been in one. It had a harness in it, and I carried it.
What?
That sounds about right.
It's a strongman event.
That sounds about
that sounds just about right.
That's smart.
What's up, everybody? It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for Word on the Street. Let's go around the horn. Coming to us from Denver, Colorado, the VP of Operations for Beta Consulting Group, and drinking a smoothie. Coleman Rubbin in the house.
Fit Boy Summer. Time for the smoothies, not milkshakes like everybody yelled at me for last time. Only smoothies here.
What's in the smoothie today? What berries you got rolling in there?
Power greens, peanut butter, vanilla granola, fruit mixture that is strawberries, mangoes, pineapples, and one other thing, and some water.
Okay, all right, not bad.
Nice
not
and
bad. Popping in from Cleveland, Ohio, Executive Director of the TMSA, Jennifer Carpenter Romaine in the house today. What's up, my friend? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you got the door closed. There's something behind that I'm supposed to see.
All right, my mom is cleaning.
Tick, tick, boom.
Your mom's in there? Your mom is in there and she's not going to be on the show today? What?
So she has retired. And so on Fridays, she comes and cleans my house to get away from my dad.
Ooh, what's she retired from?
She was a nurse manager, and she's been a nurse her whole life. If my dad was here, he would come on the show in a heartbeat and like lead every conversation and be involved in everything. My mom is much more of like a calm, quiet human.
Got it. Nice. Well, tell her thank you for her service. Appreciate that. First responders and whatnot. Appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Coming to us from New Jersey, the bodacious cowboy Jeff Dickinson in the house.
What's happening, guys?
You know, anytime you got to take a comb to the beard, things are good.
Things are very good.
I know. How are things in Jersey? Everything going well?
Everything is going very well. Thanks for asking. Looking forward to a great show today. I'm traveling to actually Jacksonville on Sunday for some sales training. I always like to up my game, so why not go and do it for a few days?
Playing some golf while you're down there?
Not going to have time. My whole schedule is packed. Well,
that's a miss. That's a miss. That's mute-worthy right there. That's what that is. Coming to us from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Firebrand, Meshach Weber in the house. Where's the hat? Where's the hat, my friend? The hat. I mean, I know you want to fit in. I know you want to fit in with the bald heads around here. I get it. There it is. Hey. Come on now. Gotta love that, my friend. Gotta represent. Good to see you, my friend, as always. Coming to us from Chicago at R2X, Mitch Kovaleski in the house, everybody.
What's up, guys? I was just on the snow hill. I didn't even know you guys were here. I'm just going sledding. Come join me. Let's go. Happy Friday. Go sledding. Come on, come with me. Let's go.
Let's go.
Why do you have that in
Chicago
your
got snow recently? When did you last? You got snow recently.
No, we
Got some good
didn't.
powder here in Chicago last night, man. 4 inches. 4 inches. What's up, everyone? Happy Friday.
Good to see you, my friend. As always, good to see you in the
What
house.
powder are you talking about, man? Is it the powder that comes in bags? What are you talking about, Mitch?
South of 55, it snowed there, Bane. South of 55.
It didn't get under 50 here. Like, I don't understand that.
Polar
50
vortex,
miles.
man. I don't know what to tell you. We got a lot of fresh snow
Wow.
on my side.
Midwest weather, baby. It's hard to predict, even in your own city. It's crazy. Coming to us from Colombia, from Savant Juan Baena, just on What the Truck. Coming off his appearance on What the Truck.
Yeah, that was pretty stressful.
I mean, it couldn't be much crazier than this, or was it more professional? It's probably more professional. Yeah.
It's just,
I mean,
I don't know. It's just more relaxed here.
there aren't too many shows that can make Dooner more professional. I'm not gonna lie. Like that guy's, you know, he's pretty wild and party like as well. And so maybe that's part of it. I don't know. It's possible. Good to see you, my friend. And coming to us from GLCS, the strongest man in logistics, Robert Bain in the house, my friend.
So good.
Always good to see you, my friend. Gotta let the beat
Always
drop.
good to see y'all. It's good to be here, even though Mitch is lying about snow. It didn't happen.
See me off in traffic, they say Jeezy on some other shit. Send them pussy niggas running straight back to
We often don't let it play that long, and for good reason. Good to see you, my friend. Everything going well?
Dude, life's good. I'm waking up for the first time in almost 12 weeks in no pain, which is amazing.
Cool. Really?
Yes. Oh, that's knock on wood. Hopefully, it means good news in 8 days.
Well, tell us the secret to your success here. What's been making that possible?
Well, I mean, this is the taper period, so after all the heavy stuff's done, yes, Coleman, drugs. What it is.
There it is.
Just with the taper, that gives me a little more time to plan better sleep, more deliberate sleep. So that's been very, very helpful. And then all the workouts are, from here on in is just a lot of very lightweight, just make sure the blood is flowing. And, also it's one of the best recovery tools you have out there other than sleep is the movement. And so that's been really good. As we talked about, as we were before the show, been working on my mobility quite a bit. So it's kind of nice to be able to, be over 40 and sleep in any position I want and not wake up feeling like I hit by a truck. So I like that a lot.
A lot of ballet then, huh?
So real talk, I took ballet for a year in high school.
Remember those football guys that were doing that?
That's exactly why I did it. And it worked. It 100% worked. I was a incredibly better athlete the year after I was done versus before I took ballet.
mobility training, baby.
There's something about, like, it's easy to make fun of things like ballet, dancing, yoga, Pilates before you do them. And then after you do them, you're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever experienced. I remember when I did P90X, they have a whole day and an hour and a half workout devoted to yoga. And I was like, an hour and a half of yoga. But what was crazy was that when you got to that day, you were super sore, your legs, your arms, your shoulders, everything was super sore. An hour and a half of yoga, no pain. It was unbelievable. It was just like the craziest thing I ever experienced. I never had that before. I always felt you just had to let time take its course, but like it's amazing what that kind of stuff does for you. So congratulations, my friend. Glad to hear you're pain-free. That is a good thing. Hey, everybody, we are 3 weeks. We are 3 weeks away from TMSA's Elevate Conference in New Orleans. I cannot believe it. It's coming up real quickly. Coleman, are you nervous?
Nervous for what? No,
No, he's super prepared. Me and Coleman have weekly meetings. We talk like every other day, but organized lists, not him just phoning me at all hours of the day and night. Totally different experience.
Yeah, June 9 through 11 in New Orleans. Listen, I know it's going to be more organized, but is it going to be better? That's the real question. Is it going to be better? Like nobody cares about how you prepare the food. They just want the steak to taste good. Is it going to be better just because it's organized? I'm just asking. I don't know.
Yeah. We have organized fun. That makes it.
I'm throwing a little shade because I'm missing out. Like I'm feeling jealous and feeling like I'm missing out. I got FOMO already. I know it's a problem. But anyways, hey, make sure if you make sure you haven't signed up yet. Make sure you sign up for Elevate Conference. It's not too late. It's going to be down in New Orleans in the French Quarter, June 9 through 11. And there are some surprises. It's the 100-year anniversary. It's going to be a phenomenal party with great education as well. A lot of great events. Jen's got some surprises up her sleeve, even though she's
I
not wearing
sure
sleeves
do.
today. She's got some surprises.
I don't believe that because you don't have sleeves, ma'am.
We're hitting the sleeves too.
Here's a little advice. There's an old trick. If you get nervous up there, just picture everyone in their underwear, man. Just everybody up there in their underwear. It works every time.
See, I feel like I thought it was always the opposite. If I get nervous, I just get down in my underwear.
That's what it is.
Yes.
All the time. I get it wrong all the time. That's it.
Dad Coleman, I thought I would only have to have these conversations about not being in your underwear with Trey, but apparently I've talked to both of you.
Coleman, I've got a pair of whitey tighties you should wear. I've got some ones to give you from previous.
They're
outings,
seasoned.
so.
They're
What?
seasoned.
You don't pay him enough that he can't buy his own underwear?
Yeah, I'm on the road. He sends me a new pair like every month.
Oh, they're
Downward
branded.
spiral today, huh?
Oh, they're branded.
We're working on it. We're moving that direction.
Oh,
so
goodness.
pretty crazy. Hey, speaking of things spiraling out of control.
I'm not
go ahead.
nervous. I'm very excited. Sorry to interrupt. I'm
No,
not nervous.
you're good.
I'm very excited. It's going to be a phenomenal event.
You're going to do great. I just have to throw shade
Yeah.
because one, I can, and two, I'm feeling FOMO. I'm missing
Yeah.
out. And I'm really bummed about that, so I'm not excited about that. Speaking of things spiraling out of control, though, did you guys see this morning world number one golfer Scotty Scheffler arrested and booked
Crazy.
with a mugshot? Did you guys see this?
Crazy.
So
Oh yeah.
he's driving to the course. There was an accident, unfortunately, a fatality that occurred, and it blocked things up. And they told the players you should still be able to get to go. So he's driving. He tries to go around what's going on. Apparently, there was someone there giving him instructions. He didn't either hear him or didn't abide by them. He starts driving, and this guy jumps on his car and holds onto his car, and he goes for 15 yards. Before Scotty realized what's going on, he stops the car, rolls down the window. It was a police officer who then dragged him out of the car, threw him up against the car, put him in handcuffs, and put him in a car. And I still can't believe it happened. And the fact that nobody there was like, "Hey, that's world number one Scotty Scheffler. Let's talk this out. Let's figure this out." They took him to the to jail, not even knowing who he was. One of the police officers came up afterwards to a reporter and said, "Can you help us identify who we just arrested?"
Yeah, I don't think
No way.
very interested
Yeah,
in
you got,
who they were.
hey, interrupting the story. Yeah, coming in big time. Look at this guy. Yeah, buddy. Look at that. Let's go. Hey, I got something for you. I got something for you right up here. Look up here. Oh, not that one.
There we go.
He doesn't need his name up in lights. He just wants to be heard. Whether it's the beat of the mic, he feels
I
so
got the
unlike
Armstrong hat
everybody
now
else.
up on the wall of fame up there. It's now up there. So
Oh, muted. Came in muted. No surprise.
no surprise. But I have the Armstrong hat now up on the wall of fame up there. So
Scott's like an Armstrong catalog. He's just like a walking Armstrong catalog model at this point. Like fully swagged out, man.
That's because I don't have my A in my corner yet. I've been trying.
Hey Scott, do they have adult size T-shirts for you guys or no?
Not yet.
They don't.
Not yet.
I think they do. I mean, this is a double X.
Scott watched that with warm water for sure.
That's awesome. So what we were saying, Scott, before you got in, is that world number one Scotty Scheffler got booked today, and now he has a mug shot, and pretty wild. They delayed the entire event because of everything that was going on. They finally got him back to the golf course in time, and then he had to play. So they charged him with second-degree assault of a police officer and three other charges. That's wild.
I already saw a meme this morning with someone had already put a teardrop on his.
Yeah.
I saw that too. Yeah.
I was just like, what?
There was
Louisville Metro Police Department coming up big.
God judge me on his throat. It was awesome.
I'm surprised with the amount of cameras and everything else and cell phones that there's no footage of the cop riding on the hood. Like that
Yeah,
was
well, I think it happened pretty
video
quick.
to see, right?
I mean, I think it probably happened pretty quick, which is part of the reason why. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's pretty wild. There is footage of him actually getting escorted to the car in handcuffs. And just the wildest thing is that they came over and asked, can you help us identify who we just arrested? I'm like, that's crazy to me. That's really pretty wild. I mean, nobody's above the law. I get that, but that's a pretty wild situation. That's a pretty wild scenario.
Would you recognize golfers? Would you recognize golfers in the wild, not in their golf apparel, just walking through the mall?
But you
Only
might
Tiger
ask.
Woods.
You might ask. And
Not
this
even
is rule
Tiger.
number one. And these are police officers working at a golf tournament, which usually they ask to be assigned because they like being around the event. Right. So you gotta anticipate that some of these guys know golf. You know,
Yeah,
and
but
you
after
don't
you
might not
ride on a
recognize
guy's
it, but
hood for a little while, you really don't care who he is.
I guess. I guess that's maybe true, but it just seemed pretty wild.
Yeah, but also like
that-
at a if they're responding to the scene of a fatality accident, they may not be there for the tournament. They're there to do
Right.
their job.
It's true. That's very true, and it's chaotic, and I get it. I get those whole circumstances, but I'm just surprised there wasn't one cop that said, "Hey, I think this guy's a player," or "Let's find out who he is," or "Let's not do this. Let's just let the guy go play," like whatever it is. Like I'm just shocked that didn't happen because they took him in, they booked him, they charged him. Like that's wild.
Well, I've
That's
had some
pretty cool.
cop friends, and
Golf.
they're, like the way that they consider the spaces they're working in, like really, like that's their safe space. And if you go there with a car, they know, cops die every year from somebody
Right.
driving through, a place that they're working, or they're pulling somebody over. So they get pretty amped up pretty quick.
Yeah, it is way easier for us to see it from our perspective and be like, "Why didn't you think this way?" But you're absolutely right. When they're in that
Well,
situation,
and they're just walking back and forth and
they're
necessarily,
on high alert.
looking at traffic. So if somebody
Right,
pulls
right, right.
through and they're like, "What the?"
Do we all agree that his lawyer will get those charges dropped?
I'm pretty sure maybe they already have.
Guaranteed.
I saw something
Yeah.
on
Guaranteed.
Twitter, I'm pretty
100%,
sure.
right? That's not on his record.
Yeah.
No
But
way.
think about this.
No
Now
way.
he has a mug shot that's on the internet for the rest of his
Never
life.
gonna
It's
go
just
away.
gonna
Street
be-
cred.
never gonna-
Street
never
cred.
gonna
If he
go
ever
away.
Yeah, he's
rap.
trying to get street
You
credit.
should
If
just
he
show
ever
up
raps-
in full vodka.
I don't think Scotty Scheffler's looking for street cred. This is the guy who, when he wins, he goes to the podium and he thanks Jesus for winning. Like this is who he is. It's a big part of who he
know.
is.
I
It
think
could not have- like-
everybody's looking for a little street cred.
I don't know. Well,
Everyone. I don't care.
like
who
if
you
this
are.
happened to Max Homa, 100%, he would totally embrace it. He would love
Maybe-
it. I don't know that Scotty Scheffler's going to love this.
You ever heard that comedian? He's like, everybody always thanks Jesus. Nobody says Jesus made me fumble.
Yeah.
Maybe you can blame Jesus on this one.
Right. Or Jesus was really pulling for them to win, but not the other
Yeah.
team. I'm always like, I don't know that Jesus cares who wins. Honestly, I'm not sure that that's really on the prioritization list. So, all right, it is time for our segment. What's the word? Sponsored by our friends over at TIE Software. Listen, freight brokers, your business is a complex web of processes and technologies that must work together, and you need a partner who truly understands freight brokerage and your specific needs. The team at TIE Software constantly collaborates with the top freight brokers in the industry to build their revolutionary TMS. You want to scale your business? They'll help you get there. Schedule a demo today and see the difference by clicking on the link in the comments and or show notes below. All right. So I got to share my screen about this. I saw this on LinkedIn today, actually. Check this out. So as you guys know, we're big believers in testimonial content and your customers speaking on your behalf. It creates social proof. It's a great marketing deliverable. It's really important to have. But Chad Olson put this online today that he's noticing tech companies in our space who are putting testimonial content from themselves, from their own team members on their website. 2 of them. I don't know who they are yet, but I can't wait to find out who it is.
That's
That's
wild.
awesome.
This is pretty, yeah, this
I'm about to do that right now.
advising these companies to do this. Who says, yeah, let's do that. We'll just put a testimonial from our founder. Yes.
I don't think you should have it as a customer testimonial because that's incorrect. But if you're using it as like a recruitment tool about the company culture, that's different.
That is different. If it's a recruiting page for people, possibly, maybe if you're talking about your culture. But
Or if you
shouldn't
like
be on the
make it clear, like I love working
Right.
for this company because we can solve A, B, and C problems. Not like this team did this for me. They're great.
Right, but what Chad is seeing is he's seeing somebody say, like he put an example, he changed the names. So and so provided more value than any other tech provider we've seen, talking
Yeah.
about themselves.
I was
That's pretty
trying
wild.
to like give full scope opinion of like, is this ever okay versus that direct thing? Like
Yeah, I
obviously
mean, that's-
that direct thing isn't great.
That's
So I have
that's pretty.
I have
cool.
a testimonial question for you guys. So you're driving on the side of the road and you see a billboard, and the billboard says, "This is the best buffet in Iowa. This is the best
voted.
voted. This is voted. But who voted that? And name your source." Is it the same thing that drives me nuts? Like when they get a customer testimonial from a logistics company and they'll say large CPG shipper. You know what I mean? Like when they have a good quote, but then it gets generic, nothing gives me a bigger pet peeve than that, right?
Yeah.
Have
yeah,
the confidence of the relationship. If you're worried about everybody reaching out, then the relationship's not there, I think, right? So what's your take on that?
I mean, I think if you're going to do that, you should cite the source,
Right.
Because maybe it was legitimate. Maybe it was legitimate. Maybe there was a survey that went out or something, but cite the source so people could actually check it. People won't check it.
Right.
But if there's a source, they'll at least think it's credible or legitimate, right? But when people just say, we're the number one this, or we have the most this or whatever, like, to me, that's just, just bragging in a way that is not necessary. And it always comes better from a customer. Hey, we noticed that they sell more hamburgers than anyone else, so we decided to cater with them. I don't know, something like that. That makes a bit bigger take. But here's what's funny about this too, is that I told Chad on here, I kind of joked on here that I'm going to open Red Rooster Technologies, since that's who he cited. And so we did that. We actually created, I got t-shirts now, Red Rooster Technologies. We know how great we are. So pick yours up today.
Nice.
We got them on the site. They are available. I'll put it in the, so we got those. So make sure you go pick one of those up and enjoy that. So
yeah, you guys can tell we're working hard over here at Beta.
That's right. We're working real hard.
That's really cool.
The thing is, the power of social proof is so powerful that even those things that are kind of weird, like just a guy wearing a lab coat, it works. Might drive us nuts, but it works.
Yeah, it really does. So anyways, I expect all of you to be wearing, we got white, we got black, we even have a brown version. So we got several options here depending on what your color palette is. So pick one of those up. We'll have a little bit of fun with that. But man, I still can't believe that people are like putting, I just can't imagine if I said something about Beta Consulting Group as the most valuable marketing agency we've ever worked. I don't know. I mean, like that.
Well, and also, like, if I read that, I would be like, you don't have a single person that will say that you actually worked with that will say anything nice or positive about your business.
Bad testimonials are like bad swag. It's better to have none, like than to have none. Like, just don't have any.
That, or you as the CEO came up with this idea that was terrible, and not one of your team were like convinced you otherwise.
Just put me on there. Like, okay, we'll do that. But the crazy thing, Mishak, is that he said he saw it from 2 tech companies in our space, and if that's true, then these people are getting advice from somebody. Like that, this is what you should do. Like the likelihood, the probability that 2 companies would do the same thing in our space like that is pretty low, unless
why isn't there any common sense? Why isn't there any common sense when you're looking at it? Right?
They're outsourcing their marketing to some person in China. Like I was helping recently somebody who had outsourced some of their marketing to China. And the kind of stuff they put together, they're literally on their website, they had stuff that was still part of the boilerplate website theme that they had used, literally,
right.
like insert quote here,
and the Apple, like whatever language Apple does their copy in, just the template copy in, whatever that is, the Apple copy, when you forget to do that, same type of thing. Oh man, not good. But hopefully if we can find out who those companies are, if you know who these companies are that are using testimonial content internally, not for recruiting, we need to know who these people are. We need to help them out. We need to save them. This is not good. So pretty wild. What's going on in the freight market? I want to hear what's going on out there. Mitch, you're in the market every day. Jeff, you are as well. Scott, you're seeing it. You're sales guys. What's happening in the market right now? Are we seeing any type of movement, or is it just stagnant?
I think so. Jeff, you go first. I'll go second. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah, it's stagnant. A lot of my customers are backing off because they don't have the inventory to fulfill truckloads, but they've been with me for 3-4 years, so I understand where they're going. But from the feedback that I'm getting from other competitors, they're seeing the same thing. I mean, nobody can predict what the future is going to bring and when this market is going to flip. I mean, that's a fact. There's nobody that can say that right now. The point is that we have to put ourselves in, as service providers, in position A to flip when the market flips, and it's not going to happen for a while. Not going to happen.
April 21st, 2025. You heard it first.
It could go to 2025. It could really go to 2025. Seriously.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see.
What are you guys seeing on your end? Or Mitch, go ahead. Sorry. Mitch,
I just think some momentum for sure. Things that we're not even entertaining in conversations Q4 are starting to happen now. Slow for sure, to Jeff's point, but they're starting to happen. We're starting to see some growth cross-border on the Mexico side, some other deals, but it's DOT week, Blitz week this week overall, right? So this has been a bad example to kind of compare some of the momentum of the last few weeks. This is the first time in, 3 years or so that the committed rate is actually weaker than the spot rate, right? So we've inverted the market rates where it's more fruitful to play the transactional space right now, short term. And so that's the first time in a long time, which is firing, some of the bigger trucking companies up that have the CPG contracts and some of these others at well below market pace. So going into RFP season, which is right now, finally they're letting the brokers back in, where in the last 2 years that wasn't really the option, right? Just because of the market rate flip. So I would say in the next 2 quarters, things will start swinging around a little bit better. But it's all about momentum.
How much of that spot rate inversion is from this week and is really actual momentum?
No, this started about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, it did. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well,
I have a question about DOT Blitz Week.
Yep.
And I know that, this is always an interesting topic. But, right, like, if people know it's coming, I know that at least when I was brokering freight, there was a certain amount of carriers that were just like, hey, we're not working this week, right? They're exiting capacity, all that. Does that make sense, telling people when it's going to be? That's like saying, hey, you have a drug test coming up in 2 months, like, make sure everything is good, right? Like, it's almost more beneficial if it was something that came as a surprise.
Right.
And this isn't me saying, oh, keep them, surprise everybody and, screw people over. Like, I don't want less capacity, but I feel like it makes more sense if it.
So Coleman, it's a very interesting question that you have, right? I think there's a couple of different versions of that. I think we all could wish that every freight broker has a carrier base of each carrier 300 trucks, right? They all have brand new trucks and brand new trailers. They'll haul anything for anybody. That's not the reality. The reality is majority of a 3PL's capacity fleet is trucks of 5 or less, 10 or less in the majority of that fleet. And then it gets even deeper depending on the commodity. You touch fresh produce, you're going to see a lot of Southern Texas-based carriers or Bakersfield, California carriers. These are the smallest carriers you can have in the fleet, but they just make a mass of them. I think I'm also a believer of relationships. So if a trucking company operates 52 weeks a year, are you telling me they're only going to operate the 51 weeks because of this week, right? So, or are you saying that I really need $1,000 more this week if I have a capacity management system for my company to yours? So I think some brokers take advantage of it, but should we alert the carriers? I think it takes a substantial amount of infrastructure on police forces, police departments, to coordinate the efforts. I think they have full-time. I mean, I live not far from an expressway, and the day of Blitz Week, I know, man, they're just pulled over all day long, right? All day long. So I think it takes a ton of coordination. You know what I mean? Within the police departments, within the state, within the counties, within some of these other deals. But that's probably the only reason I think of.
Yeah.
Go, Jeff. Go.
Yes, Jeff.
I know a little about a lot of things in this subject because I talk about it a lot, and it's called pre-check inspections. And it's a law. When you get your CDL license, the number one test on it is the pre-check inspection. So my question to everybody here, right, for drivers too, is that, okay, if you have to pass the test, then why aren't you conducting that when you go and do your pre-chips for every trip? That's a mandatory requirement by the FMCSA under 49 CFR 3927, which is the equipment and inspection and use. They do insist that every driver out there that has a CDL license, that they do a pre-trip inspection. So if they did that pre-trip inspection, filled out their DVIR, which is the driver vehicle inspection report, which they're required to do on every single trip, why would they worry when they go through DOT inspections? Jeff, it would be clear.
Simple. I live in Chicago. My boy Robert Bain lives in Chicago with me. I got some other folks on this call. I'll just use Chicago as an example. I only reference my own backyard. There is several carriers based in the Chicago market that falsify information all day long. A lot of carriers in Chicago don't play by the rules. And so 51 weeks a year, they can get away with it, right? Until they get randomly pulled over and then they get the deal and then we get the big news. But that's why, Jeff, it's an algorithm risk for a lot of these carriers. And their odds, they're betting gambling people. Their odds are so high this week, they're out. But you're referencing the legitimate by the book trucking company that gives us the warm and fuzzies, which we should all be doing business with. That's just not 100% of the industry, unfortunately.
So-
why
so-
this exist?
Do you vet your carriers?
Do we? Of course, man. Of course.
Okay, so why isn't like taking another layer up in the safety and requiring all your carriers that bump your door do a DVIR report every time they pick, because you're protecting your brand, your image, and your reputation as a shipper, as a service provider. Because let's just say this, Mitch, right? A carrier bumps your door and they have a really bad tire, but they go, hell with it. I'm going to go another 1,000 miles, even with the belt showing, because I don't have the money to repair it. And they happen to kill a family of 4, and it's your family. I'm just saying, and it's your family. Does it take a catastrophic event to make you change your mind? I mean, that's the biggest problem that we have out there. I think it should be a mandatory step. And when you hire carriers, that when they back up to that shipper's door, that they send you, as well as the POD and the bill of lading, that they did indeed do that, because it covers your ass that an inspection was done when they picked up the load.
Jeff, it's all about the rate.
That's interesting.
But no, wait a second. It's all about the rate, Jeff. So you deal with crappy customers, you're going to get a crappy rate. Crappy rates equal what? Crappy carriers, right? So crappy rates equal crappy carriers. So if you have a healthy customer, you can purchase legitimate capacity out there. Do you agree with that?
Well, yes, I do agree with that. But the thing is that does a wrong make a right? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, what do you, as a reputable service provider, would you want to have that done? I mean, I know I don't want the burden on my shoulders if my driver knowingly, after the police report, says, you know what, this was a pre-existing problem. This tire was worn out and it could have been replaced, but it didn't. And it was on the front right side of the passenger, right? And you blow out, and guess what happens? You shift lanes really quick. And now you hit a car, and the car happens to flip over and kill somebody, right? That could have been avoided. That could have been avoided if you happen to take that extra step. And that's what I'm pushing for that narrative.
And to be fair, Jeff, you make a good point, Jeff. And here's the issue is that all of us will sit on this call and we'll say, yep, 100% that needs to be done. Absolutely. And I don't doubt that anybody here that has sat in a brokerage and on a brokerage floor does everything they can to vet a carrier. The reality is this, is that we are only as good as the information the carrier gives us.
Correct.
So, to Mitch's point, are there guys that will falsify a DVIR to make sure they get the load? Absolutely there are.
Absolutely.
And so does it take a catastrophic event to wake someone up? Yep.
Yeah, they're called nuclear verdicts.
That's exactly right.
They go for the billions nowadays.
From the shipper side, how do we have certain like really weird idiosyncrasies? We all know this, right? You onboard a shipper and you ask, do we have anything we need to know about this particular location? Do you know what those particular things are? What has someone else fucked up in the past that I have to be ready for?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This has me thinking, because I think there's a lot to this, because even if you do require it, there's a certain percentage of the population that's still going to break the rules.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going to falsify. They're going to do things illegitimately, right? What is that? 10% of the population? 15% of people that just aren't going to play by the rules?
Called that, yeah.
As long as you save one life.
Now,
that's it. One
no,
life.
no. I'm with you, Jeff. But now I'm concerned about something else. This is actually a requirement for all pilots to do this before flight takes off.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Are there
Don't bring
any
in the
of
planes,
those?
this.
Are there any of
I don't
those
wanna
that are
know.
falsifying those reports because they suck?
Think about that.
Well, you'd have to have two
Absolutely.
people.
I'm reading about a lot of drunk pilots in the last year.
Yeah,
Well, think about this.
A lot of drunk
You guys
pilots.
talked about
Waiting for a moment.
It was either last
Okay, one at a
week or-
time, everybody. One at a time, everybody.
Yeah, no, this is important. You talk about specifically pilots. Alex Mai shared this where there was a pilot, American Airlines. It was a flight from, I want to say it was LA to Honolulu, where the pilot didn't feel safe with the gas line and shut the plane down before they took off.
There you go.
I'll take that any day.
And
I'll take that any day.
Okay.
They actually he played the black box recording, so you get the noise from the back as he's making the announcement, and you can hear people like basically kind of like, what the F? He basically said, he's like, I don't feel comfortable being over the water for the next 6 to 7 hours.
Yes.
And putting all of you at risk. So I'm going to shut this down, talk to the gate. They'll address this moving forward. And it's interesting because no one has said if there's been any kudos and or repercussions from American to this pilot.
So
That's
And
my
American has dropped their standards a lot. A lot.
Here's a follow-up that's very important, okay? I have a lawyer friend, and I asked this question a couple of weeks ago. I said, okay, to your point, how many falsify the DVIRs on electronic, ELDs, right, where they're logging their information? Here's the point I'm stressing. So they say that the tire's okay, all right? They say that, and they go down the road. They're 1,000 miles away. They get into an accident, right? When they do forensics and they look at an accident to the details, they're going to know that that's a pre-existing problem that happened, right? And that that indeed it was falsified. So what's the repercussions on that problem, right? They're going to go back to the carrier itself, who hired this driver. Everybody's going to be thrown under because of the falsification. They'll prove that there was a pre-existing problem. Belts shown, it didn't wear out in 1,000 miles, and due to negligence, they failed to replace the tire when they should have, and now everybody's up shit's creek. These things can be prevented if there was an extra step. At least you have that document to say, this is what the driver sent me as a broker, as a service provider, and I sent this to the shipper. We're out. It's all on the carrier because he said he did it.
Jeff, I agree with everything you're saying, but the problem is you have to have everybody willing to play by those rules.
Everybody on the same
That's the thing, is that you're going to have people that are just not going to play by the rules.
It all comes down to money. It all comes down to money. It doesn't come down to ethics or morals. It comes down to money.
I mean,
Why do drivers say I don't get paid to do it?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, my friend. Like, that's what you need to tell them. My man, that's what you're getting paid
That's
for.
my point. That is exactly my point.
It's that or a federal prison.
Mishak, go ahead.
That's where it ends.
Hey, that's my point.
Mishak, go ahead. Shut up, Juan.
I was just saying, to be fair to the carrier side, created a lot of content around this. That they really, it's a real challenge to even with really good training, to get people to consistently do their job. And back to Mitch's point, it's really important to work with sustainable business models, to sustainable pricing. That's how you ensure you get the best people, because the people that are not sustainable, they're finding some way to cut costs.
I mean, we just look at Boeing as a company in general. I mean,
yeah, well, a big part of that, they got rid of the
standard.
engineers and they were put in managers.
Half the planes flying are Boeing planes, and
only half those planes are flying.
Get on them, do one of these.
Unfortunately, in our industry, there's a lot of us on this pod that pay our employees a fair living wage, right? And so that's the right ethical thing to do. You expect ethical performance from your employee. That's not the industry. There's folks that are well underpaid. They're looking for kickbacks. They're looking for other deals. They're looking to help other carriers out, Jeff. There's so much of that game activity, side money, side hustle stuff happening that just it needs to be cleaned up a lot more to have more of a consistent approach, right? I mean, overall. So
what happens if you did this, Mitch, right? What happens if you said, well, there is no second offense on this because it's a legal document that you have to pass your CDL license with a pre-check examination that's mandatory and everything. You don't do that. They find out that you falsified it. Lifetime ban from ever having a CDL ever again. And your carrier, the carrier itself who hired you, they're out of business as well, because you're talking about lives at risk right now for doing really stupid shit. Really stupid crap.
So Jeff, you are 100% correct. And I'm going to say this, and it's not going to be popular. From a legislative perspective, we are okay with a certain number of lives lost.
That's bullshit. I don't accept that.
You don't. I'm saying
I don't think anybody does.
Yeah. Well, except for the government.
But there's a legal tolerance at
Why do they put it in there?
Thank God.
Why do they put it in as a mandatory requirement in the CDL if it's not mandatory and you don't?
But Jeff, are you not booking Mitch trucking because I have one fatality on my fleet of 75 trucks? I have an at-fault fatality. I've ordered my drivers hypothetically. Are you never going to book a load with me?
No, because you're too damn expensive.
Unfortunately, I think that's the other thing too. That a lot of folks, the trucker is at fault whether they're at fault or not, no matter what. Right. I can give you guys example after example of deposition, court deal. I was with a carrier pulled over to the side of the road, had their triangles out, had their flashers out. They were pulled over on the,
Sorry, Mitch. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this. We have a break in the action. Look at this.
He
How
says,
cute is
"Hey,
that, huh?
trucking safe again."
Oh, so cute.
Grandpa,
Oh my gosh.
more hair
So
than
cute.
Grandpa for sure.
Hey, he's just looking at you. You're doing that, man. You know what happens, right?
Sorry, Mitch. I didn't know how much time we were going to get there. I had to cut to that.
No, it's all good. My point is, driver was pulled over for a maintenance issue. Drunk driver slams in the back of the truck. Trucking company still settling with that family, right? You know what I mean? It's just the trucker always loses no matter what, whether they're at fault or they're not. Insurance is around that with that understanding of the risk on some of that stuff. To Bain's point, I do think there is an algorithm kind of tied into what he's saying, unfortunately, like it or not, right? Like it or not.
Yeah,
so
I
I
don't
have
agree with it, but you
I have kids, I have family members just like everybody else, right?
Yeah.
You look at the Industrial Revolution. How many people died during that piece of our history? You look at as deregulation happened and more folks got on the road. Again, it's not good. It's not the warm and fuzzies, but that is our reality. We have a four-way stop here at Dempster and 2nd Avenue in Des Plaines. It will take a couple more people dying before they will put a stoplight in there. Even though people blaze through that all the time. And here's the thing. It's a four-way intersection. One of the corners is a school and right next to it is a church. But we're okay with this right now until we get enough deaths.
It's a hard balance to make, though. I mean, we could all be perfectly safe if we lived in rooms that were padded and the government just controlled every action that we have.
We don't want that.
Then it's just a slow death, and it is, like, to be fair, some of these things, it's a hard balance to make, and if we just pick out those situations where there's failures, but, like to your point, Robert, they used to be able to, like, for instance, the Golden Gate Bridge, they calculated 1 death for every $1 million spent, and they beat that, fortunately. But, like there's like, you can be efficient or you can be really safe.
The Hoover Dam, 800 people died during the building.
Oh, yeah. Got poured into the cement. Yep.
And anybody who's willing to break the rules, and I tend to be one of those rule breakers. I tend to call myself a rule evaluator more than a rule breaker, but that's more of a semantics. But anybody who's a rule breaker is always making a calculated risk that they're just not going to get caught, that nothing bad is going to happen. It's just a calculated risk, right? And that mentality, I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm saying, like, get them out of trucking. If something goes bad, definitely get them out of trucking. That helps our industry. They're going to go to another industry and do something similar. They're going to go into construction. And I just saw this video actually recently of a guy who framed a house, a brand new house for construction, framed it, and had 10 violations of the code on framing it because he was cutting corners left and right. And sometimes those get caught. Sometimes those don't. What if there's an under the table play with the inspector and that just doesn't get flagged? I mean, unfortunately, these things happen. It's really sad. It stinks. I don't know how you clean it up holistically.
Yeah, but Trey, to your point, right? Let's just say Mitch changes his mind. He's going to be a trendsetter, and he's going to make sure every single carrier he does business with.
Gonna be. Excuse me.
Mitch is the good guy.
Jeff, if you don't think I wake out of bed every day with that as my number one goal, you are mistaken.
Mitch is going to turn over a leaf and become a good player now.
No. I'm just saying, a trendsetter, by doing that kind of stuff, then it's going to be, you know what? That's working for Mitch, and good stuff is like cancer, man. It grows really, really fast. I'm going to do it. Coleman's going to do it. Juan's going to do it.
Yes,
Robert's going to do it. Everybody's going to start really getting on that train of changing what is happening out there. It just takes one good.
And then some people will say they're going to do it because they don't want to feel left out, and then they won't do it because it's not who they are, the core.
I got one final question on this to Jeff.
How do we make it easy for them?
Do you think there's majority good people in this world or bad people in this world?
Bad.
Okay.
Wow.
Just double checking, man. Yeah.
Hey,
On the
this is
pessimist side,
this is a news break. Scotty Scheffler was just charged with assaulting an officer before teeing off.
2nd degree assault, felony. Yeah.
Before teeing off. I think that's
that tabloid.
So are they
So
going to
much
catch him at the
Jesus will
18
do
and
for you,
cuff him again?
evidently.
Depends on how he's playing.
Cuff him at 18. He spends the night in jail. They bring him back the next day to play his third round.
Oh, this is a great conversation. This really is.
Oh man,
It really
man,
is.
it's
She doesn't
wild.
like it. She's
On
not
a
like it.
On a positive note, it does look like the economy is turning to the point that M&A companies are starting to bring some money back in. A lot of the companies that couldn't really get a favorable transaction in late 2022 and definitely 2023 are starting to have a conversation again on starting the company and M&A coming back in. So that's interesting. We'll see where that goes. But we've been in a pretty rough cycle where money was super expensive. It's still really expensive, but it seems like M&A is a little more favorable coming back in.
Is anybody else getting weird feedback from him?
Yeah, getting weird feedback from him. Yes.
Cutting out,
From me?
muted. Almost.
Yes.
Yeah, but now it sounds great.
Yeah,
It just must have not been important.
It sound like you're underwater.
Like I muted. I thought it was like some feedback from me. Oh.
Well, and to your point, Trey, I think from an M&A perspective, I think we've also seen a lot of investors coming back in, which I think is in the same play, right? People putting money back into the technology market, logistics market, saying, hey, this is a company that down the line could have an effect on M&A. So I think overall, it's a good sign for everything that's going on in our industry.
Still hearing the feedback?
Nope.
Okay, better now. That's good. Yeah, and I was talking to our good friend Dr. Mark Manera with Offshift, and he has raised quite a bit of money from angel investors and starting to see a lot of that activity coming back, which is really exciting. By the way, if you guys have not looked into Offshift, phenomenal. They just did a kind of a test case with Werner Enterprises, and the results were absolutely incredible in terms of driver engagement, driver health. So many good things came out of that. So I'm really excited for them and what they're doing. If you have
some pretty good publicity. Dooner just got logged in with them. He's been I guess he's doing a whole
that's awesome
series of his weight loss with the Offshift product.
Yeah,
so.
It's cool. Drivers that are
Mark
feeling better, adhering to their medications better, losing weight, just a lot of really positive stuff out of that. So he's on to something. He's doing some great stuff. So I'm really, really excited to see that.
They'll be in better health, better mental health, and then maybe they'll do their pre-drive checks, and then we'll avoid this whole conversation.
That's right. That's right.
Dying at the wheel, I suppose.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing, heads up, if you ever know somebody who's having issues with heart issues, Dr. Eselson is a really great resource. Really evidence-based approach to recovering from even heart attacks and even triple bypasses. Got a really amazing record.
Not specifically in transportation. He is just a great doctor.
He's kind of a world famous. I think he was originally a heart surgeon, and he came up with a diet. His son continues it. You can buy the products through the shelf. It's like Engine 1 or Engine number 1 or something.
Can you put his name in the chat?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be good. Speaking of people who do things the right way, Jeff, we've got some certified non-scumbag gear for the Broker Carrier Summit coming up here in just a little bit. So a lot of great things in mind of that. If you are a certified non-scumbag, you can pick up your merch at shop.betaconsultinggroup.com. We're going to move that store over to the Broker Carrier Summit site soon enough. We need to get a onesie. I just realized we need to make a onesie. That's what
we can't confirm. He's got some Eastern European in her.
Well, he's growing up in a certified non-scumbag house. So she is. Sorry, gosh.
I'm just saying her last name's Gorbenko, so like we can't be 100% yet.
My bad. All good stuff. And Broker Carrier Summer registration is going to happen in early June. So get finished with Elevate, have a great conference there, and then turn your eyes to the Broker Carrier Summit coming up pretty soon. By the way, 100th anniversary, Jennifer. What any surprises? Anything we need to know about for Elevate coming up?
Well, if there's surprises, you can't know about them.
Any surprises you can share? Any details you can share?
I can say that.
Sorry, Michael wants adult onesies. You got it, my friend. We'll work on that.
We are giving t-shirts this year at Elevate, and the design is very cool. It is not just like a logo slapped on. It's an actual very cool design. I wasn't judging. It's not always about you, Trey. I'm just saying.
It's not just a logo and some words, moron.
I just felt like you really put, if we were going to do t-shirts, we really wanted it to be cool. And that design will be on the t-shirts and the swag bag. The opening reception is ending with a second line through the streets of New Orleans. So like a real brass band, police escort parade through the streets, like the whole thing.
Nice.
I would not miss the opening session on Monday morning. Do not come late. Show up prompt.
Don't stay out too late on Sunday night, everybody. Don't have a good time at the French Quarter.
To have a good time, stay out.
Like,
just
too
wake
late.
up.
Is that at
And-
7:30 a.m.?
The opening.
Ooh, I hope
Coleman,
not.
when's
That's
the
early.
Or the opening remarks
That's
at
8:30.
8:30.
Is it 8,
That's
right?
probably breakfast.
8:30.
8:30.
Yeah, I think
And
we
the
do
breakfast starts at
breakfast
7:30.
7:30 to 8:30 with the kickoff at 8:30, and then the keynote is at 9. Our award banquet, of course, is very cool. It is a Mardi Gras theme party. My outfit is ridiculous. So good. Like I have to remember how to put contacts in so I can wear my mask the whole night.
Oh,
Like a big ass, like full feathered mask.
FOMO is real right now, folks.
Our ending session that day is the logistics of Mardi Gras with Kern Studios, who actually does like Mardi Gras World and all the floats and stuff.
that's
So
cool.
like
That's sick.
we really try to incorporate the cities that we're in. We also do a community give back on Sunday, and we are partnering with the Covenant House in New Orleans, and we're making tie blankets again this year. And so thank God we taught other people, since Trey won't be there to help me teach people how to make tie blankets, because that's apparently not something other people know how to do. But we make the blankets together, and then we donate them to like the children in need and the homelessness that are getting back on their feet and replaced and all that kind of stuff. So last year we did tie blankets for the Children's Hospital in Savannah. And when I was talking to the Covenant House, they're like, we actually love that idea. Can you please do that for our people? And I'm like, absolutely. Because now hopefully more people know how to do that. Because there was literally 4 of us, and me and Trey were 2 of them that knew how to make the tie blankets last year, and so it was really funny.
I think Mia and Mazel knows how to do it. If she's going to be there, she can help you out with that for sure. She
will not be there, which is a bummer.
Bummer. Not good.
But so, and then we have we do a newcomers welcome that's a little bit different, and something that I love about TMSA is we have a buddy program. So anyone that is new, you can opt into having a buddy, somebody who's been at TMSA before. We encourage you to meet up with somebody beforehand, like in a Zoom, so you can ask your questions to. And then we have a newcomers welcome, and there's something super cool that the membership committee is launching in that session that will then be conference long, but I have been told I'm not allowed to publicly say what that is until we get there. Coleman, I think I have told you, but I don't remember. But if not, we have our call right after this anyway. So,
Yep.
You know, the buddy system is one of the greatest things that you created with TMSA. It's just so helpful for newcomers and gives people who are returning just a little more investment, like a little more participation, which is really cool. Because a lot of times when you go to those events, you've been multiple times, you start to become an attendee. You're not really as engaged sometimes. And this is a way to get them engaged. So love that program. And I got to say, the logistics of Mardi Gras has got to be really cool, because when you think about the French Quarter, it reminds me a lot of like New York streets, like real thin, like delivering goods and getting things in there. It's got to be really difficult, probably late in the evening that they do stuff like that. So that's going to be really exciting. That's cool. So it's going to be a great show. Again, everybody, events.tmsatoday.org. Sign up for Elevate.
yes, and our hotel block comes up today. So if you are planning
sign up
on
today.
coming, go sign up and book your hotel.
That's
Because
right. That's right. Good
please
stuff.
sign up, because we're like buying the lanyards and all the things. So like having counts is great, but also make sure you get your hotel today before the block comes up.
And in the spirit of TMSA and the Pioneer Awards and what they do out there, we have some superlatives today to give away for our game. So no normal game today, but today we're doing most likely to. And here we go. We're going to throw some banners up on, and we got to decide who is most likely to do the following. So here we go. First one is, who is most likely to accidentally find a portal to another dimension?
Meshach.
Like,
Yeah,
us?
definitely Meshach.
Yeah, for sure, Meshach.
He's got the Matrix behind him right now. He's
I'm saying.
ready for it.
He's here. He's here from another
Meshach,
dimension.
for sure. He's been
That's-
looking.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Meshach probably found it already. He just hasn't told us. That's how he gets to events so quickly.
No, I agree with
Yes.
Jennifer.
He
He is
pops
from
up.
another dimension because he
Yes.
does that in reality.
Multiple times in life, I have told Meshach I'm at an event, and then within hours, I see him at the event. And he wasn't there. He was somewhere else in the world. That has happened multiple times. So maybe he has found the portal. It's very possible. All right, next one. Most likely to actually be a spy.
Juan.
I think Robert Bain. I'm gonna go Robert Bain. Yeah, because you
Wow,
would be
that's
nobody would
a
expect
hard
it.
one.
Wait, hold on. Why would no one suspect it, Trey?
Because you're
Because what? Because why,
He
Trey?
doesn't know. He's like, oh shit.
good question.
Pick your words
He's a big dumb
wisely.
animal.
Yeah.
Maybe you would be because it's not expected. I don't know.
Spy isn't
Honestly,
expected,
I'm-
Trey.
I was just thinking
I'm
you're
seeing
very
you
like I
shout
think of a spy as somebody who is like undercover in the dark behind the scenes, and
Yeah,
you're
but
an
that's
out
what makes
front
him the
public
best spy.
personality. Maybe
he's in
that's what I'm
your
saying. I'm
face.
second guessing myself now. I'm second
So
guessing
then it has to be
myself.
Jennifer because she's in a power position. She's
Absolutely.
always, just everybody's friend, like just
I am
cozying
everybody's
up.
friend. Everyone tells me their secrets too, for sure.
Yeah, see, she's admitting it.
Yep. Oh,
I've been compromised. Take out Trey Griggs.
the man behind the curtain.
All right, so we'll go Jennifer on this. I was way off on that. I wasn't even close. All right, next one. Most likely to be late for brunch because they stopped to pet a dog. I think that's. I was gonna go Coleman on this.
Oh,
I was like Coleman.
I was thinking
Yeah.
Coleman because Coleman has an
Coleman
affinity
got
for
the
dogs, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you love.
He had
You're
that
like,
the
if
only
there's
one
ever-
who cares about Trey's dog. You made sure that dog went for walks the entire time we were there.
If there's ever a reason
Oh.
for Coleman to be late, it's to spend time with dogs. I gotta say
Yeah,
that.
but I'm also never late. But I'll take it. I love dogs. I'm like John Wick up in here. I love dogs.
All right, fair enough. All right, who is most likely to lock themselves out of their own home?
Scott.
Really, Scott?
I would
He's
say
in the military. I feel like he's got process and structure down. Like, why he wouldn't lock himself?
I'm not
out?
saying he can't get in. I'm just saying he's gonna lock himself out.
I'm gonna say Trey.
Touche. Okay, yeah.
I can see
Actually,
Trey, too.
Trey and I got
I have-
locked out
Probably at
once.
least
I have
three
locked
times
myself
in
out of my
car
house
this year.
multiple times.
No, I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
I
Trey.
that would be
I
my
was gonna
best.
say
I have-
Trey.
I have climbed through that window multiple
No, Trey.
times.
Don't tell people how you get into your home when you lock out. You keep
Right
forgetting
now.
you're in a public space.
Nobody's
Right.
watching.
You
Don't worry,
give
Jen, it's all
now
right. Don't worry
even
about
your
that.
home address
Nobody's
and how to
watching.
break into your home on this show. And that you have a dog.
Well, I will say this. I don't know if the window's unlocked or not. I had to go around every window to find the one that was unlocked. I didn't know. I didn't do it on purpose. Like, that might be locked now, and maybe there's another one that's unlocked. I'm just
In
saying,
the
like,
past
I've had
life,
to
you
get into my
were
house multiple times.
So what
Any-
you're saying
any-
is you always have some window unlocked in your house.
Any window.
I'm saying
is
it's
unlocked.
possible. Like, listen, it wasn't planned. It's possible. You think I'm organized enough to even have like a secret window unlocked? No, it's just
No.
it's random.
I am no. And if you had a hide a key, you wouldn't remember where you put it. So there's no point.
100% right. So it's totally true. It's definitely me. It's definitely me on that. I was just waiting for you guys to get to it, but it's 100% me.
I'll tell you
All
why.
right.
Trey and I once, this has never happened to me, but with Trey, we were in Orlando. I think it was TIA. We were staying at the same Airbnb, and I think we went out to receive his golf clubs. By the
Yep.
time we make it back to a room, it's a hotel. The security latchet that you
On
close
the
when you're on
inside.
the inside closed when we closed the door and went out.
Yes, we closed the
And we
door. Maybe
spent the
so
next
hard that
hour
it,
trying to,
things
like,
swung around.
Push it out of the
We had
way.
to use
and
credit cards and all kinds of stuff.
I happened to
and,
have like a little screwdriver, like
We
thing,
reached in,
bottle
unscrewed
opener.
it. Yeah,
Took it off my keychain and just
I forgot about that. I really didn't want to remember
uncorked
that.
the screws.
That's
That has
it,
never
I love
happened to me, just with Trey.
Checks
Fair
out,
enough.
Ben.
Good point.
Checks
All right.
out.
Next one. Who is most likely to clap when their plane lands? Ooh.
Morgan.
Please say nobody.
It's
Please
definitely
yeah,
Morgan.
Morgan.
Definitely Morgan. It's
I'm
definitely
saying I
Morgan.
haven't, but I have. Depends on who I'm
Definitely
flying
Morgan. All right, moving on. I thought she might jump under the screen to defend herself. Who is most likely to get blocked by a celebrity on social media? Yeah,
Bane.
probably Robert
Yeah.
Bain.
Bane.
Yeah,
Yep.
probably Robert Bain.
Because I have.
Next one. Who is most likely to miss their flight because they packed at the last minute?
Trey,
Right.
you tell me that you get to
100%.
the airport 20 minutes
Yeah.
before your plane goes.
Yeah,
I've never
It
missed a
gives me
flight.
anxiety
Not
thinking about it.
one. I have never missed a flight with all the travel I do. I've never missed
I
a
hope
flight,
you
but
do.
I am most likely to. I will say I'm most likely because I do pack
Now it's going to happen.
very close to it. Yes, but I've never missed a flight. Most likely to walk by a celebrity on the street.
Jeff.
Uh,
Just walk by
I'm
him.
gonna say me. That happens to me a lot, and I'm really bad at asking for pictures.
Oh, I
Interesting.
never asked.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's
okay.
what I
I'll
mean.
take that
You
one.
just keep walking. You'd be like not impressed and just keep walking.
Yeah, exactly.
On a-
Walk by. It's one.
On a flight from, I think I was coming back from Phoenix. I was on the same plane, Miami to Medellin, sitting right next to Tito el Bambino, who's a reggaetonero artist from down here, pretty famous from my time. And I was like, "That's my childhood star, but I can't. I'm not. No, He was like across the aisle. I was like,
you didn't
"Nope,
selfie
no
that
picture."
up?
I
Oh,
could
man.
not ask for a picture. I just not in me. It's not in me.
Embarrassed. Come on.
I used to hang out with Brooke Shields and Scott Baio in Englewood, New Jersey, back in the 80s, and it was
Scott
fun.
Baio.
Oh, swimming. We used to swim and everything like that. And what's his name? The comedian. Oh, I don't know. But lived next to my friend, and we used to see him all over the place. Never asked for a photo or anything like that. Nope.
Jeff's trying to get in on this one. He's trying to get in. All right, next one. Most likely to be a low-key conspiracy theorist. Definitely Robert Bain.
First of all, I am not low key.
He's not.
I was like, it's not low key.
That's true. That's
True.
true. Maybe Scott. Maybe Scott.
I didn't see Scott.
I see Scott with that. He's so nice. He doesn't want to make it public, but he's got the thoughts.
Yeah, I'm still debating on the moon landing. So I mean, that's...
Please tell me you haven't gone to the flat Earth conspiracy side.
No.
All right, good deal.
There's some interesting meetings in there.
Most likely to hide a zombie bite. I mean, I gotta say,
I'm saying
Jennifer,
Jeff.
just because that sounds
hide
home.
a zombie bite.
You don't know
I'm
my
saying
life.
Jeff.
I'm gonna go with Jeff too.
Hey,
I'm saying Jeff. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know about that. Okay,
What
do we have
was
one more?
the-
Final round. Here we go. Last
It was
one.
with
Most
Kyle.
likely to laugh in a serious situation. I gotta go.
definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna say Juan at first.
That might be
All
a
of
Bane.
us. They're all
Everybody on this show,
We're
pretty
all
much.
here. We're laughing, and this is pretty.
Everyone.
The entire show. All right, everybody, we're going to hold This Week in Pictures for next week. We'll carry them over. We'll bring them up next week. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Memorial Day weekend is next weekend. Oh, my gosh, it's going fast. We'll see you guys next week.
Meat
right
weekend
here.
is next weekend.
Yeah, that's
There
right.
we go.
Also, that's right. That's right. All right, we'll see you guys next week right here on
Have a
Word on
good
the
weekend.
Street. See you guys. Peace.